Wait, what about this part?
Shh. Welcome to TBR, a podcast where two besties read. I'm Addi.
And I'm Alex, and join us as we reread,
Review,
and reevaluate our favorite books over the years.
Shh, I'm reading.
This week on TBR, we're covering The Hollow Boy by Jonathan Stroud, part of Part 6, A Face in the Dark, chapters 23 through 25. Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back to TBR. Woo! What listeners don't know is Alex and I haven't recorded an episode in like 7 months because life has been...
It's been so long. It's been so long.
I'm so disappointed in us, but also, listeners, you need to know, you're just gonna go with the flow with us. We're gonna get it done when we get it done. We'll never desert you. We still want to do this. It's just we got to do it on our own time.
Yeah, sometimes life happens and someone goes abroad and someone moves halfway across the country and it just things get busy. We apologize. We are sorry. It happens.
Shit happens.
But yes, we're never going to desert you. Don't worry. We wouldn't ever be able to not finish this series because we still talk about it. We're never going to be the people that post every week, and I apologize. That's not realistic for us.
As I always say, please lower your expectations accordingly.
Yeah. Put your expectations on the ground, just like we do. I'm sorry.
Anyways, if you didn't know, there's a difference in our voices because I have my lovely co-host here. Alex,
Oh, yes.
I didn't even introduce you.
It's been so long, I don't remember how this goes anymore. Jesus, all right.
Anyways, what are you drinking over there? Do you have
Water.
Oh, no Diet Coke. I'm
No,
a little disappointed we're not bringing it back.
I already had a Monster today, and I'm limiting myself.
I cannot stand monsters. I don't know what it is. They're disgusting.
They're so good.
No.
I like the chemical sludge, okay? I can't drink coffee. I can't do it. I think it tastes gross. So this is my vice.
You know, I did not like coffee, and then when I moved abroad and there weren't any like sugary type coffees where you couldn't taste the coffee and all I had to drink was coffee, I learned to love it, and now I love coffee. It's great.
Yeah, couldn't be me. What are you drinking today?
I'm also drinking a water.
Oh, nice.
But I'm also getting over being sick, so I need to drink water.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
it's fine. I have dinner later, and it's soup, so that's basically another liquid.
Yeah, that's just it's just a chunky liquid. It's fine.
Never mind. Switch the topic. So this week we're covering The Hollow Boy, a part of Part 6 of Face in the Dark, chapters 23 through 25. We're saving the last chapter for our BBC episode, which will be the next one.
Yes, when we get there, we'll get there.
Yes.
And it'll be great.
We'll get there when we get there. But this part has a lot of sad parts. As I have showed Alex previously, most of these chapters just have blues and dark blues and blues, which in Addi's little system is basically just sad. So, in light of that, our question of the week is, what book made you cry the most?
Okay, in case you guys aren't aware, I'm an emotional person.
She cries all the time.
And every emotion I have is linked to my tear ducts. Half the time when we record these podcasts, I'm laughing so hard that I'm crying. But the sad tears, I can think of a couple books recently. Upon Addi's recommendation, I listened to The Midnight Library as an audiobook. And let me tell you, the first couple scenes, I was bawling on my way to work. Like, it's so sad. And then it's so good.
It's so dark in the beginning.
Oh, it is, but you need it to be dark for the end to pay off.
Yes.
But oh my God, I was like, there's a scene with a cat. And I was like,
Did you like that book, though?
I thought it was really good. I don't think I'll read it again anytime soon.
Same.
It's very emotionally taxing, but in a good way.
It's an interesting concept.
Yes, I really enjoyed it and highly recommend it. But good God, I cried a lot. And then also, I also cried during Kingdom of Ash. It's just the cultivation of everything. It comes together so well, and there are high highs and low lows, and it just is so good, and I was just crying. And to this day, like, usually when I cry during the first read of a book, I don't really cry the next time, because I'm like, oh, I know what's coming. Let me just skip. This book I always lock in, and I always cry. So I can't ever read it at work. You're gonna get there. You're gonna cry.
I know, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
I'm still reading it. Thank you, dear listeners. It is time I admit my truth. In the time since we hath recorded this episode to now, whence I am editing this episode, I have finished that book series, and I can confirm I did cry like a baby just like Alex said. So, yeah, everything that comes after this point where I say I never cried to a book, just ignore it. It's not true anymore. And here ends my message.
What about you, Addi? What makes you cry?
Well, okay, I laugh because listeners don't know this, but we write notes and everything, and Alex actually came up with this question, and then she put, I'm pre-filling this in for you, Mockingjay. And I want to say, Alex, no. I'm sorry. I need to let you know, it's very rare that I cry for books. I will cry to TV shows and movies. I don't know what it is, books. It is very hard for me to actually cry, like tears coming out of my eyes. I can get really sad or like feel intensely during books. Most of the time reading Mockingjay or Catching Fire, I just threw the book against the wall because I was mad. No tears during those.
That's shocking to me.
I know. I cry a lot during movies. A lot. So this is
What?
like, what? No way.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Anyways, books, it's a lot harder. The most recent book that I can remember that I cried at is called Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I am not even going to attempt to say the author's name because I know I'm going to say it wrong, but it's actually originally written in Japanese. It's translated to English. You can kind of tell when you read it because it's very much an English translation of it. Alex, you need to understand why I cried.
It's on my TBR because of you.
I know. Do you want me to not tell you then?
Don't spoil it for me, otherwise I won't.
I
read
won't
it.
spoil it.
Give me like a very generalized, the vaguest situation.
There's one character who keeps pushing off dealing with something because they think it's going to go one way. And near the end of the book, she has to confront it when something happens, and she realizes that what she thought was going to come of this situation was not at all what it actually was. It did not help that I was with my sister when I read that part, and it's about two sisters. I was unwell. Tears of nostalgia, but also just of sadness. It was just very sad, emotional part.
Oh.
I literally, I had to go get a box of tissues because I was bawling. I would love to read that book again. I think there's 4 or 5 sequels that he's written. There's only 4 chapters in the book. It's really short, but each chapter is its own story of this person being able to go back in time and solving something in their life, or, being able to talk to someone they didn't think they could talk to again.
Aww.
The emotions were there. Kind of like they are in Lockwood and Co. at this part.
I will say I did cry the first time I read this.
I was emotionally crying a lot during this part, but I think I was also kind of confused during this part, and we'll get to that, because I don't know if I told you the other day, I realized something while rereading it this time that I have not caught, the past 4 times I've read it, so I'm dumb.
We'll get there.
In light of it, I will get there. Anyways, we'll get into the book because, let's be honest, we're going to go over, as we usually do, what's new on TBR.
Oh, yeah.
So last episode, we covered The Hollow Boy Part 5, Unrest, chapters 18 to 22. Yeah, okay, 22.
I forgot to fill that in, sorry.
So, it's okay. Alex put 18 to something. 18 to something 22, thank you.
Let me update that real quick. Let me update that.
All right, so now I'm living on the edge, listeners. I will be very quickly reading this synopsis. Alex probably put in some...
I put in a lot of alliteration just for you.
You did put in some tricky words in here. I'm already going to take out some of these words.
No, leave phenomenon in.
Phenomena. Dun, 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 dun. Phenomena.
Oh, God. There was one part I was really proud of, and I read it to my sister.
I'm already seeing one word that I'm not going to say correctly.
Is it wreak havoc?
Okay, here we go, listeners. The team decides to put an end to the Chelsea outbreak by tackling the true center of the epidemic, the Aikmere Brother department store, and begrudgingly accept the help of Kip's team and Flowbones after being repeatedly denied.
Back in there.
Repeatedly denied defrag resources and assistance. In the store, the teams experience an odd phenomenon. Dun 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 dun. Phenomenon. Dun 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 dun. Time slowing and stopping, a feeling of darkness seeking them out, ghost-like voices of a fetch luring them to danger, and a shadowed figure stalked by a swarm of spiders. You bitch. While the teams hunt for the... Why did you capitalize words?
Because I was really proud of
While the
this.
teams hunt for the source, they are hunted by the source. And Bobby Vernon goes missing. Lucy and Holly rescue an injured Bobby from an elevator shaft and avoid a close encounter with the crawling shadowed figure. ... Only to later lose control of their emotions, finally airing their disdain for each other, which empowers and provokes a poltergeist into action. While the poltergeist wreaks havoc and wrecks everything in eyesight, the trio reunites with the rest of the crew. The exit in sight, Lucy reaches for Lockwood, but the pair is pulled apart and Lucy is swallowed into the unknown.
Dun, dun, dun.
We literally left on a cliffhanger for 7 months. I'm so proud of us.
Oh my God.
A literal cliffhanger.
We're terrible. We're terrible.
Cliffhanger, hanging from a cliff, and that's why he's called Cliffhanger.
To be fair, we haven't edited the episode
True.
before this. So we left on a much better
True.
cliffhanger. I don't even remember where we left off, but we recorded in April and it is now December.
Merry
So-
Crisis!
It's fine.
All right. Chapter 23. Open up your books, people.
Chapter 23. I have a lot to say about this. I have notes.
Oh, God.
I think the symbolism of where we start is really important because Lucy can't see anything, she can't hear anything, and she can't feel anything, which are the three main talents that you have.
Ooh.
And I think that's wild. She's like in a sensory deprivation situation, and she's without any of the talents that she uses to see any visitors. So I just think that it's really a cool way to start, where the first sense that she gets back of the 5 senses you have is smell, which is unrelated, sort of, to any of the talents. So I just thought that was really cool.
I didn't catch that, but that's a good catch.
I was really proud of myself.
I was liking the quote. She says, I was one big bruise, but nothing seemed broken. Is that a metaphor? Because there's the saying that sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt them. But she's fallen. Like, you'd think she would have broken something. Similar to how Bobby Vernon fell down the elevator shaft and, like, broke something probably. But she's just one big bruise. And it's literally kind of a metaphor for what she is at this point in the book. Is she's just been beat down. And she basically had a verbal fight with Holly that did not end well. And so it kind of leaves a bruise. Like, she is one big bruise that's been beat down this whole book.
Yeah, I like that. Her feelings going in were already damaged. Then, throughout the course of them trying to find the source, her relationships with everyone were damaged. She got mistrust from Lockwood because she didn't tell him she was hearing voices and was ratted out by Holly. Then Holly and her had this huge fight. So she's like, feelings are bruised, her relationships are bruised. And then, like you literally said, she just fell down a hole. So her body is now bruised. So there's literally like no part of Lucy right now that is not aching.
No, and she's alone. Her rapier is gone. Her backpack's gone. Skull's not with
And
her.
she misses Skull.
I know. I'm going to bring this up later in my BBC, but she mentions that she feels an empty space in her head where the skull should be. Again, hollow?
You know, it has in here that she gives a sob of self-pity and swallows it back. She doesn't like the hollow echo. It's like, bro.
Yes.
Stroud.
There's so many metaphors in this portion about hollowness.
Ugh.
Oh my God. I
Ugh.
cannot get over it. Anyways, we got to keep moving.
I
Lucy
do
is
like...
starting to feel... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, we're going to say the exact same thing. I like that she's feeling guilty.
Yeah, I was just... It's like we're best
She deserves
friends. I was like, she's starting to feel guilty of how she spoke to Holly, and I was like, thank you. Good.
Finally.
Good.
It only took you being thrown into the pit of
despair.
for her to feel that way.
Inconceivable.
Let me groan right next to right next to the microphone. Ugh.
What's your beef with The Princess Bride? Let's just start out there.
I hate it. I think it's dumb.
Why?
Please. If there's giant rodents, I'm out.
I know, but why?
I think it's dumb. I don't know how else to explain it. I have never met something I don't hit with so hard. Because it's like a parody of a parody.
That does not answer the question. Why?
I just don't like it.
Inconceivable.
I just don't like it. No. No.
Okay. Listeners, we have an opening in the TBR podcast now.
Our third bestie, George?
No, you're fired. Actually, this is a fun fact. The last time I saw this movie, the guy that plays Wesley, the main character, he talked after the movie and answered questions.
Really?
Really, and it was actually really cool. But what was even funnier is it felt like a Rocky Horror Picture Show. Was everyone was saying the lines the whole entire movie. It was hilarious.
I would love that and hate that, but especially hate
I'm
it
sorry.
for the movie.
Especially all the Inigo Montoya lines, like, you killed my father. Prepare to die.
See, I don't know why. I just don't like it.
Listeners, please convince Alex to give it another try. Open her mind.
Oh, okay, I got excited, but I realized I kind of jumped ahead of it. When Lucy starts using candles, that brings us full circle from the beginning of this book where she says that she is good at candles. Good for you, Lucy. I believe you now.
Okay, another thing you were talking about with the hollow, like the self-pity that she was talking about. I had another thought with that as well, is that Lucy, at this point, she's inadvertently, and probably not consciously, coming to the same conclusion as to why Lockwood is bottling everything up. Because she's saying she doesn't like that self-pity, so she swallows it down and is like, nope, not dealing with this. And as a reader, you understand why he doesn't talk about anything. He's secretly terrified. He doesn't want to talk about it because he's very insecure about it. And I just read that and I was like, same thing, we were coming full circle. Like, Lucy has done, like, a journey where she's coming to inadvertently a similar conclusion as to why Lockwood is the way that he is.
Yes, and I'm so glad that by chapter 25 they finally talk. And we'll get there when we get there, but
Yes.
the emotional payout of these chapters is so good.
Yeah. So Lucy walks around and she starts to feel the same way she did with the Bickerstaff ghost. She feels uneasy, feels the buzzing sensation. What could be going on? Maybe something similar.
And our girl definitely has a head wound because she is talking to these skeletons. And I'm confused. There's a lot in here that's really funny. I think when she's talking to the skeletons and she's like, oh, they have bad manners. But when she's talking to them and she's influencing them, I get so confused.
What do you mean?
They're like coming close, right? And she's like, back the fuck up. I need space.
Yeah.
And then they do it. Not all ghosts are like that. I don't understand these ones.
Yeah. I feel like Stroud leaves a lot of stuff still up to the unknown.
Interpretation?
Yeah, and he's not trying to solve every single mystery for you here. So we really don't know why they're listening to Lucy or not. And I don't know if it's because, like, no one has listened to them. They've been avoided and not listened to this whole time, that now they're finally getting to someone that does listen to them. I have no idea. So I feel like it's just up to the mystery of everything.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe it's a whole figment of her imagination and she's just imagining them coming closer and backing off because she's got that head wound. But whatever the case is, the anger that these ghosts have, I am firmly on their side because we learn that not only were there prisoners in the prison, but basically they had put all of these infected people like lepers and people with incurable diseases down there. And then instead of sealing up the prison and taking them out first, they just tidied their hands and two birds, one stone, and just locked them in there to die because there were like hash marks on the walls, and it was just really sad.
You know what else? The walls are mentioned to be gray, which goes back to that indecisive, non-committal, the dull, lifeless, in a colorless world. Ooh. That goes back to my color theory that we talked about, to the last BBC. And also there's mentions of white mold, which, if we remember, let me go up, white is purity, innocence, youth, birth, light, good faith, perfection, cleanliness. So it's kind of like it was trying to be cleaned. It was trying to be brushed over. And there's a line about that later of them trying to brush this under the surface. So some kind of a foreign color, a foreign mold growing in this area. Ooh. It says, the walls drew inward. I felt as if I was being funneled towards something, drawing closer, step by step, to an inevitable fate. It was not a pleasant sensation, particularly since everything still spun before my eyes. I took a breather, leaning against a wall. So she's feeling very dizzy. She's feeling, like, very out of it. Very much like how she was feeling in the Bickerstaff case. So it's kind of a hint that something is afoot that's similar to what was happening in Bickerstaff. Again, he's laying these breadcrumbs to the other side and what's happening. Okay, I did have a funny part I want to go back on. Lucy apologizing to the skeleton after she thought she killed it.
I love it.
Could you imagine if it looked back at her and was like, good day?
Who hasn't been there? Not with the skeleton, but like apologizing to an inanimate object. Granted, this is a skeleton, so technically it was a person at one point. But like sometimes when you bump into a door, you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then you're like, what? What am I doing?
Not related. When they give you your meal, they're like, have a nice meal. And you're like,
thanks,
you too. And they walk.
You're like, I hate myself.
Or have a nice flight. And you're like, thanks, you too. And you get on the plane and they're still in the airport.
God. I do love Lucy's humor here. And as she moves along, we get a little mystery that someone else had been down in that forgotten part of the prison recently and had tidied up just like Holly. I love that she doesn't ever give up on hating on Holly. Just a little dig after dig there. Someone was very keen on housekeeping and swept a nice little circle. They left a little wax, they left a little candle, and they left a cigarette butt.
Shouldn't be there.
Who's chilling with the ghosts?
Also, I really like the visual he has of the ghosts just hovering over their bodies like a candle flame that Lucy's holding. Just chef's kiss. Great writing. And then Lucy to state that she could feel the centuries-old misery and hate. And I liked this. And when you think of flame, you think of like passion or like hatred or ire. It made me think of how people say when you're mad or passionate, you get like a fire or a spark. It's like all these ghosts are like a spark themselves. Again, just great writing and getting all these metaphorical hints of what's actually going on with the problem. That you have all these bodies of sick people that were closed up and left here, but it was covered up beforehand and they just left them there and were like, no, clearly not gonna be a problem later. Instead of like owning up to what's actually happening. There's a lot of metaphors going on around here to kind of hint at someone here is doing something. History is repeating itself here, and someone's guilty.
Also, another little, I'm going to jump on your little metaphor there with tidying up and putting people in boxes and stuff and how that relates. It's kind of a metaphor for, spoiler alert, what happens later. So all of these people were trapped behind and caused to influence things outside of their realm, you know, because they've been trapped there and not laid to rest. Just like perhaps we learn a little later in a different book about how potentially some spirits are being trapped on the other side and are influencing the other world.
What? No way!
That's crazy. That's crazy. I do have something here that I'm not sure if I'm reading into it. We talked about Skull kind of being an empty space in her head. I think that these ghosts are influencing her a little bit because there's 2 points where she's like talking to him and then all of a sudden she like snaps herself out of it and is like, what the hell am I doing? One time she starts hysterically giggling and then the giggles like snap her out of it and she's like, you guys need to back off. So I'm wondering if they're influencing her there just by their presence and kind of like...
See, and that's why I think like Lucy's powerful, but I think she gets possessed in a way. And it's not ghost lock. It's very different than ghost lock.
I think she does too. It's different. It's like subliminal influence.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then there's a second part too where she's talking about where she's like, I'll get you guys great burials, proper coffins, all the fixings. Don't worry, Lockwood will handle it. And then all of a sudden she has this like intrusive thought where it says, well, at least he would if he was alive. And then she's like, what am I doing talking to these ghosts and where did that thought just come from?
Okay, I'm all about metaphors. You know this. What I'm liking most about her interactions with the ghosts, they're not inherently stopping. They're just slowing down. And they're not really listening to her. Let's think about who else has been trying to get closer to something and isn't listening when they're told to back away from it. It's a metaphor for Lucy. It reminds me of her with Lockwood. She's trying to fight these demons, and Lockwood's even trying to fight his inner and outer demons, and Lucy is the ghost in this situation. She is trying to get closer to him and not be with him in a romantic sense, but just like understand him more and be a good friend. And Lockwood is like, I am busy doing too much of my internal shit, but he doesn't want to say that. He's got too much going on. And so Lucy is very much like in The Ghost, where she won't let go of that anger or that desire that she has. And so Lockwood is very much shutting himself out. He's trying to keep the ghost or Lucy in the situation at bay. He's trying to keep his internal and external ghosts at bay. Both situations, even in The Ghost and Lucy and Lockwood and Lucy, they're both dealing with loss and trauma.
Ooh, my 2 favorite words.
You're welcome.
My 2 favorite words.
I know. Carson's 2 favorite words too.
And by the time we get to the end of this chapter, Lucy lost her candles, of course, because she just misplaced them. The ghosts weren't sharing the candles that they had because, you know, they're ghosts. And I just like how this chapter, again, we end on a little cliffhanger. We start in the dark and we end in the dark.
And then chapter 24 starts with Lucy hearing a voice that she heard earlier as the ghost starts to fade away. This voice, honestly, I don't know why, it was very reminiscent. Like, once you figure out what's going on and you figure out that this voice is sounding like Lockwood, it's starting to feel like the Jabberjays in Catching Fire. That's what I was picturing, as it's just like a torture mechanism, basically. And I was like, Stroud, this is a children's book. I think I'm just also so, like, emotionally triggered from that part of Catching Fire that I was like, don't you dare.
Please don't. Again, we get this little shadowed figure. It's down there with her now. It followed her.
The creepy thing. Oh my God.
I hate it. I hate this. I think this is the scariest ghost that we've ever encountered just because it's like a broken doll.
I can picture it because it's every time I see like one of those scary movie trailers on a TV and I slip, I'm like, nope, and I flip it to like Teletubbies or something like that. Like, hell no. Hallmark Station, let's go.
It's crawling. Its fingernails are on the ground. You can hear its arm skin moving or see its arm skin moving. Ooh. And it's followed by spiders. Jeez.
Never follow the spiders. That was terrible.
Okay, I kind of loved it though. Side note, I don't know how they deal with all the spiders because I was driving home the other day and there was a spider that lowered itself from my rearview mirror and I almost crashed the car.
Oh my god, no.
And this thing is followed by spiders. They're crawling with it. Ugh.
No. Oh, I had a spider in my apartment and I attacked it with my 2x4.
Yes.
There is definitely a dent in the wall. I will pay the fee for that.
Get it?
I did. I killed it.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
There's too many legs, too many eyes. I can't do it.
If I see one that doesn't look like super scary, like a tiny one, I'll be like, you stay where you're at. I'll stay where I'm at. I'm just going to move you outside. Save you today.
Jumping spiders, I can deal with. The spindly ones?
No.
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 No. Hell no. Mm-mm.
Get away from me.
And then we get to the next scene where she actually sees what the voice is coming from, and she thinks it's Lockwood. And this scene is just cruel. When I first read this, I never actually thought that Lockwood was dead, and I think that's why I missed a lot of the things that were going on, is because I was kind of like speed reading of like, what the hell is happening right now?
See, I thought it could be Lockwood because I was like, you know what? It's Lockwood and Co. Lockwood's not our main character that we're hearing from. It's Lucy. So they could have followed up with the business. We're 3 books into the series. We don't need him. We already have an established agency. We could continue going on. This part killed me. And I just love, there's such a harsh juxtaposition from Lucy being overjoyed that she hears Lockwood. Thank God he's alive. I just thought he was dead. I'm saved, finally. And then it turns out that it's him as a ghost. And she's crushed. Ugh, tears. Tears. Anyway, I'm tearing up right now just thinking about it.
I just didn't think it was, I don't know. I thought it was like obvious that it wasn't him because there was just the conversation was awkward too.
A little bit.
Like, it's not how he talks to her.
You know, as a ghost, he would still be trying to protect her.
Oh, yeah, but
Like, protect her emotions and everything. That's 100% Lockwood.
I think he would have given her a space to talk when they're talking. And you notice this as it gets further on. He's not responding to her. I am gullible in some things, but I wasn't gullible in this sense. I was like, I've read me some Agatha Christie novels. I know, it's never right on my first guess. I don't know it until she slams me in the face with it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I was dumb the whole time. So I was kind of just waiting for the other food to drop. Or, other food. Oh my gosh, other foot to drop.
Someone's hungry.
I am. My food is staring at me right now. But I feel bad though. She's so convinced here that Lockwood is dead and that it's her fault. Like, it makes me really sad.
Well, it's playing into her darkest thought. We literally saw like the flashback or whatever that she had where Lockwood jumped across to save her and got injured. And all of those times that Lockwood's like stepped in front of her or tried to help her or been there caring or took on the whatever himself. And it's like, well, shit, this actually could have happened. And we don't know what happened. They got ripped apart. He got flung in the air. She went down the hole. We don't know where he went. It's totally plausible that he died.
Yeah. She has a paragraph where she's reflecting on everything he's done and who he's been. And then she gets to a part where she remembers the picture of him in his sister's room. That's when she's like, this can't be right. None of this should be happening. It's just really cruel. And she's like, tell me what happened. And this is the part where I couldn't take it seriously. I'm sorry, Alex, where it's like, I fell. I died. Isn't that enough? And I was like, I can't take.
Okay, but fair. If I just died and you're like, please relive your last 10 minutes. And it's like, Mom, I died. I fell and I died.
Look at that.
What else do you want to
I've
hear?
been impaled.
Exactly. What else are you supposed to say? You were there. You were there for it and you caused it. What else do you want to hear from me? I do have a part here where I am a little confused.
Yes.
What? This is gonna sound so funny. What is the Fetch's intention with Lucy?
I'm wondering because it keeps getting closer to her.
So, and then it backs away.
Because she's figuring out what's going on.
Is it trying to ghost touch her? Because it lured Bobby Vernon into a staircase. And also, what I think is very interesting, another tangent, my brain is going like squirrels. Both Flo Bones and Bobby, when the Fetch targeted them, they heard, oh no, the balloons. God damn, every time I'm trying to be serious here and there's balloons in the background.
The Fetch!
Party!
Listeners, you can't see the video, but you know it. I think it's like Apple know if you put like a peace sign, little balloons pop up. It has happened more times on this podcast than we care to admit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm trying to be serious here, counting with my fingers, and it's throwing up balloons in the background. When the fetch targeted Flo Bones and Bobby Vernon, it chose voices of people that they knew were dead. So I just think it's very interesting that in this scenario, the fetch chose a voice of someone who's alive.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. But also, I'm wondering if it's just because Lockwood's had so many run-ins with death.
Maybe.
Maybe?
I just guess, why didn't it choose, like, for Bobby Vernon? They know that Ned Shaw's dead. They know he's not a ghost because they laid him to rest, right? You know, they were there for the funeral. They made sure it happened. Flo Bones, I don't know the situation there.
It might be someone that you most recently have been very emotionally
like, feel guilty about, maybe?
Guilty or like emotionally attached to.
Maybe. So I was like, if it was being serious, why wouldn't it choose Kips or something to lure?
Well, you have to think about it. Ned Shaw just died. I mean, anyone that's dealt with loss probably knows. There's always a part of you, like when someone recently dies, that it's really hard to not think about that person.
Think about that they're alive.
At least, personally, that's how I've felt whenever someone I know has died, is that it takes me a long time to like get that person out of my head, even if I wasn't like super close with them. My thoughts and my prayers, like everything is with that person, that I cannot separate myself from that for a while. And it takes time. Thinking if it's just like linking on to that person that you have felt guilty about, like you felt responsible for. Probably Bobby felt guilty about Ned Shaw dying. We kind of know what happens to Ned Shaw, but not really. So who knows? Maybe Bobby inadvertently did something that led to his death and he feels guilty about it.
True.
Similar to how Lucy would feel guilty about Lockwood dying.
True.
I think that's what it clings on to.
That's fair. I do want to know, if Lockwood hadn't intervened, what would have happened? Would the ghost have convinced Lucy to kill herself? Would it have ghost touched her? I truly wonder what the intention was. And while we're on that tangent, the person who was down in the crypt or wherever they're at, you know, the prison, clearly they also felt the influence of these ghosts. Why didn't the fetch target them? Or did it?
You know, I don't know. And I don't think the fetch was like...
Was it not down there until they broke a hole in there?
I don't think it was. I think it was spurred up to be at Akemere's, but I don't think it was down below until Lucy went there.
I'm intrigued.
I don't know. I don't understand these ghosts sometimes, and that's the magic of these novels, honestly.
Do you think the ghost got excited? Like, if it was trapped in a department store, do you think it got excited when there was a hole and it was like,
a new room? A basement, let's go.
Somewhere new to explore? A whole new level to the store.
Party. Now the balloons make sense.
Yes, the balloons make sense now.
Okay, but we need to talk about the bigger picture here. This fetch being Lockwood, this visual is just so haunting, and there's so many metaphors here. Like, I could go on for minutes and minutes and minutes until Alex is like, Addie, please shut up. There's just so many metaphors to Lockwood's inner self, but the one that I want to focus on is when the fetch turns its face. As Lucy is running towards it, she sees this mask. Just as Lucy, when she's getting closer and closer to Lockwood, she's starting to see that he is wearing a mask emotionally over what is actually wrong with him. I could go on about this metaphor forever.
Please do.
But Lucy is literally only seeing Lockwood in a certain light and wanting to see him in a different light. And he's not wanting to show her, like, truly how broken he is and, like, what's behind the mask. So he's still putting up this front in front of her that it's not enough. You think about, like, how the ghost is talking is, like, she's like, what happened? He's like, well, I fell, I died. Isn't that enough? And then she keeps asking questions. Like, she keeps pushing and pushing to the point that the ghost is like,
can you stop?
Yeah, can you stop? I'm trying to kill you here. You know? And so it very much is like still a metaphor of Lucy, just like she cannot let go of Lockwood. In a way, it's showing how toxic this is. It's not sustainable for her to be this way with Lockwood in their company. Similar to how Lockwood can't help himself to save her, it's very toxic the other way. She can't help feeling that way about Lockwood, of wanting more from him. And we've talked about how kind of Lucy has like crossed some boundaries with this, but I just thought it was really, really good metaphor there.
It's really good. And I do also like the metaphor. Is it a metaphor? Whatever. I don't do English.
Oui.
I like the metaphor. We don't do English. Let's not rehash the desserts discussion. That was my greatest shame.
We're sorry, Jonathan Stroud, if you're listening. We're so sorry. Please forgive us.
I didn't know. But I like the metaphor of Lockwood saving Lucy from himself.
Yes, it's so good.
I think it's very clever.
Also, I have to admit to listeners and to you, Alex, the cover of the American version of this book has a mask, and I always was like, I mean, I get the hollow boy, but why is it a fucking mask?
You know, I kind of like it.
I missed it on every single read because I was too focused, again, on what the hell is happening that I totally did not get that there was masks. So then this time reading it, I was like, all I'm picturing is the Phantom of the Opera mask.
I love it. I don't think I've ever really thought about it.
Well, the metaphor is huge with the mask, but it's such a small, like, one line that I just skimmed past it. I don't know.
Oh, we totally skipped past the part that is gonna haunt Lucy, where the fetch, right before Lockwood slices it in half and effectively kills himself, the fetch says, as soon as Lucy knows what it is, calls it out and says, "You're a fetch, an imposter, you're feeding on my thoughts." The fetch says, "I show you the future, this is your doing. Not everything you see is what has passed, sometimes it is what is yet to be."
Oof.
And those words are gonna haunt her every waking thought, because damn.
Fellow listeners, that's gonna cause some trauma later. Hi, I'm Lucy. And this is my life. It's crazy.
And I have trauma.
Lucy's secretly a vlogger.
Oh, God. Could you imagine? Say hi to the visitors.
Just go, fuck off.
Oh, boy. Lucy freaks out because Lockwood saves her. I just love that Lockwood just casually, "Hey, Lucy," and she's screaming.
My heart is exploding. He's just like, "Oh, hey, Luce," and I'm like, "Hey."
Just be traumatized. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. I just love that he saved her, though. And then I love that he asked her, like, 10 times, "Are you all right? So you're all right, right? You're okay? You're all right?" Like, Lockwood, your crush is showing.
Well, the worst part is right after this very traumatizing fetch being like, "Hey, see this picture of the person you love died? I'm saying that you're gonna cause this exact vision in the future." Then what Lockwood says after with "Come off it, Luce, you know I'd die for you."
Oh my god.
My heart. That is the nicest thing he could have said, but the worst possible thing he could have said in that moment.
Yes. And but he doesn't know.
No! And then Lucy's like, no, you shouldn't do that.
I know.
And then we go into the whole, "I feel responsible for you."
I can't. This entire scene, I'm like, Stroud, you can, first of all, you can't casually drop that line and expect me not to screech into the void like a pterodactyl. Okay? Like, no. Like, absolutely not. And then afterwards, the emotional trauma of, like, heaven knows I've come near it often enough. Scrambling down a crack in the ground is nothing. But hey, look, you're shaking. Take my coat. Come on. I insist. Fuck off, Lockwood.
And he thinks it's because she's cold. Oh, my God. This man.
gosh. Well, he's not a man
This
yet.
teenager.
He needs to mature. Book
Book
5. There are other book guys that are more highly ranked than
Oh,
Lockwood,
who?
but
Name one.
Lockwood is pretty good. Oh, we'll get in the discussion another time. There's many. Peeta Mellark at the top of the list. Anytime I see anyone review The Hunger Games, first book Peeta, okay, I understand. After Catching Fire, get the fuck out of my house. Absolutely not.
Well, first of all, the answer is if anyone says Team Gale, they're wrong and they didn't understand the series.
Oh my gosh. No, okay, there's this YouTube person. I found him on TikTok, and he was reviewing The Hunger Games, and I was like, this is great. It is so funny because he reviewed all the books, and he's like, I don't understand why people don't like Gale. Like, there's nothing wrong with him. And every single thing he was saying that he liked about Gale, I was like, dude, this is a red flag. This
He's
is
a
red
war
flag.
criminal.
This is a red flag. Let me just get a giant flag that's red and just slam it in your face because you clearly cannot see this man is terrible.
Listeners, we will be going over this series eventually. And we will have long-winded rants about this.
But yeah, Peeta Mellark, amazing. Top tier.
He's good.
Great.
He's good. I don't know. I like Lockwood a little more.
I like Lockwood, but he has a lot of stuff that he hasn't worked through in the first 3 books that he's young and immature. I think post book 5, amazing Lockwood. We love you.
He needs therapy. This is his growth era.
But I did like where he's like, oh yeah, just so you know, Luce, Aikmir's is trash, but hey, look at the publicity they're gonna have.
Or they'll close down.
But the publicity! Tells about his heroic venture to save her.
Yes, of course. Gotta add that in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Then we talk about the mystery.
Oh, okay. I had a question before we get to the
Yes.
actual mystery. This might be a what-if question, but I think we need to discuss this now. So do you think that if Lockwood, when he went to go attack the Fetch, Do you think he saw his face, or is it only visible to the person that it's holding on to? So if he were to attack from behind Lucy and come towards the ghost's face, would he see his own face, or would he just see a fetch?
See, okay, so he described it as seeing, he didn't even say an empty mask, but he said something.
I didn't think he said anything, like, super descriptive.
Let me find it, because I'm intrigued by this.
Because in a way, this leans into my theory that Lucy gets possessed by ghosts. And so this ghost possesses you in a way. Okay, let's go back, Alex, to the other ghost.
Yes.
Remember the one that was in the window? It was trying to get them to go to the letter?
Yes.
And Lucy was looking at the ghost, seeing one thing, and Lockwood's like, it's trying to grab for you this whole time. And she wasn't seeing the scary side of it. Lockwood was seeing something completely different. So I'm feeling like it's maybe something of the same thing, where Lucy's seeing something, it's possessing her in a way to only show what it is trying to grab onto her for. So it's not focusing on Lockwood.
Oh, okay. Found it. When he's talking about the fetch, he says, what was that thing? I heard you talking to it, but to me it seemed like just a horrible tangle of black wisps. I couldn't make out a shape at all, except for when I crept closer.
But yeah, he doesn't know.
So he doesn't know what it is. Quite honestly, I think it would have made a little more sense if he saw that little crawling shadowed figure. But again, no one else, correct me if I'm wrong because it's been a while since we've read this chapter clearly, no one else actually saw the figure crawling around, I don't think.
I don't think so. I think
Lucy's the only one who saw it in its quote-unquote true form before it like latched onto her, which was the scary fingernails, jerky, in pain, long hair, shriveled up, bent out of shape, shadowed figure. So I don't know. I kind of feel like, you know, when you do a little puppet.
Where are we going with this?
Like a shadow puppet?
Yes.
I'm going to shadow puppet to you, right? So like, ta-da, it's a dog. From your end, you know, through the shadow, it would look like a dog. But from my end, it looks like fucked up fingers. So I kind of think that's what it is. We're like, Lucy's looking at it through the shadow, right? Because it's latched onto her. She's picking up what it's saying, which is, hey, I am a finger puppet dog. That's what she's seeing. Lockwood is seeing the other side. He's just seeing a bunch of shapes, and he can't even tell what it is. So that's what I think it is. I think the person who it's latched onto can see what it wants you to see, and the other people can't see anything at all. They just see jumbled figures. If that makes any sense. That made sense in my brain.
No, that makes sense. I wish they had talked about it more, and that's kind of something I noted, is that they kind of sidestepped talking about the fetch any longer, of like what she saw or how she was feeling. Like Lockwood just completely sidesteps that. And I don't know if it's because he's picking up that she's not okay, but they sidestep that and then they start talking about the actual mystery. Who's safe and what happened upstairs. This is when we get a very cute scene, though, with Lockwood and Lucy walking together, though. She says that she needs to apologize. About damn time.
Finally, some good communication where we clear the air, theoretically, because they're in a prison with mold and it's dusty, between what happened, where Lucy says, I'm sorry for how I've been acting. I put everyone in danger because I couldn't control my emotions, something that's been a problem since book 1. And Lockwood doesn't fold immediately and say it's okay, which I think is important because she needs to be responsible for that. She's a part of the team, she's putting everyone in danger, and she needs to be held accountable. And then Lockwood admits that he's also been standoffish. Good. Finally, we're admitting that. And has been treating Lucy bad ever since he risked his own life to save her, and then kind of clears the air on, I get so nervous because I feel like I have to protect you. And he's scared what that means.
Yeah, I know. You really start to see how impacted he was by Jessica dying, and the guilt that is then focused on Lucy, which I can hear my brother right now is a great representation of trauma and how it affects people differently. I also forgot one portion just to go slightly back to. Okay, we get another breadcrumb of who is behind this.
Oh, we totally skipped this.
I know. This is the good part. So they're talking about like what's actually going on, the actual mystery. Lockwood says, oh, someone has been here very recently. Look at the marks here. It's Chinese wax they've been using. Scented with jojoba oil? I'm probably saying that wrong.
It's jojoba.
What? Jojoba? I have never said it before. Jojoba oil. Okay, and he says, you can get that at Mullet's. Top quality stuff. Okay.
Thank
Alex.
God, Mullets and Sons comes back.
I was gonna say, Mullet and Sons comes back. Remind me, Alex, what did they do with Mullet and Sons?
I don't remember.
They took over Mullet and Sons at that place.
Oh!
Deep did. or other agents.
Yes.
So we're getting a hint that if it came from Molten Sons, it's gotta be an inside job. Like someone that's in deep rack, someone that's in the know of what's going on, they have to be the ones that's guilty. Because there's no way they could have gotten it from Molten Sons. Just saying.
Yeah, someone can afford that wax. So we know it's not Lockwood and Co. We know it's not a small agency. We know it's someone who has significant money and significant resources. The plot thickens.
And Lockwood digs at Bunchurch again.
Always love it.
If this room doesn't turn out to be the source with all this lot, and with an unknown someone doing something weird, I'm a Bunchurch agent.
God, I love it.
Lockwood, you kill me. Something that I liked, that Lockwood is really trying to ease the tension to make everything less nerving for her. And it's when she's like trying to apologize, like he's trying to break it up with like some humor. And I don't really know how I feel about this. I think it's quite nice that he's doing this, but also it's breaking her momentum of her apologizing, and she really needs to do that.
I think it's kind of a nervous thing that he knows something's coming because she literally said, feel free to leave me in the dark after this. So he knows like, oh shit, it's serious. And then he cuts the tension with a little joke about biscuits, which we know is important. But I really do like the symbolism of when they're talking about this. The flashlights are not on their faces, and there's just something really comforting and very easy about not having eye contact or having to look someone in the face when you tell them something that you're ashamed of, or a secret, or something heavy. I like the symbolism of them bringing things to light while in the dark.
Yeah, no, that's a good symbolism. It's good because Lucy still is in the dark a lot about Lockwood's past, even though she invaded a lot of that privacy. Like, she's kind of in the dark with him at this point. And she admits to that. She finally admits that she invaded his privacy and that she went into his sister's room and kind of what she saw. But Lockwood kind of lets her in, the parts of him that he doesn't want her to see. He's laying down some truth bombs for Lucy right now. You know, the past is too painful for him to talk about, and that's why he doesn't talk about it. And that Lucy reminds him of Jessica, and he goes through and explains his side of what happened with his sister, because Lucy only got like remnants of what happened. How that situation just left him with so much anger and sorrow, much like the ghosts that we just saw. Again, going back to the metaphor I was talking about. But that under that, he just felt very hollow. And it kind of goes back to Lucy connecting everything, that the fetch that showed up after those angry ghosts had subsided was hollow, and that the way that he's kind of describing himself is very similar to how the fetch looked.
Yep, destroyed. Ugh. And as they're moving into basically the sunlight, they kind of wrap up the topic, add a little more humor into it to like peter their way out of the deep conversations.
She says, thank you for telling me. And I really I don't know why. I love that she says, thank you. I really appreciate you for telling me that. Because then it's like positively reinforcing to Lockwood that like, he's not going to get judgment from her. Like, she genuinely just cares about him.
Also, once again, Lucy is not entitled to anyone's trauma.
No, she's not.
So it is nice that he's sharing. He doesn't have to.
I did like that Lockwood gets to where, oh yeah, and then I got a job with a man called Sykes. And she's like, oh yeah, the gravedigger Sykes. And he's like, yeah, his first name was Nigel. And she's like, man, that just takes the shine off of it.
That's fair.
I want to know this Sykes backstory, though.
Oh, me too.
Like, it sounds like it would be really interesting. I want to know this. Excuse me, Stroud. While you're at book 6, I would not mind another prequel story with Gravedigger Sykes. I secretly think there's a good tale with him and the Fitz and Rotwell's shit.
Oh, I agree, because after we know everything that happened, especially with Lockwood's parents.
Which, by the way, we learned that they were his first ghosts.
Oh my god. Sad. So sad. But after we learned everything that happened with that whole situation, trying not to spoil it here, I wonder if for some reason, however Gravedigger Sykes died, if somehow he perhaps was a thorn in a certain agency's side and they just took him out like they do other agencies.
Ooh, that's a good theory.
I'm so intrigued. I'm so intrigued. Okay,
we have to save that for another time. This is so good.
God.
Okay, chapter 25. So Lucy and Lockwood get out of the tunnel, and when they leave, they notice that there are footprints and that the exit is somewhat hidden, or can be hidden. It's very smart on the person that is the culprit in this whole situation, that the footprints get washed away by the tide.
I'm so intrigued intrigued because a tide, I don't know anything about the river or anything.
It's connected to the ocean, Alex.
Right. I don't know. It's like every 12 hours or something, right? The tides come in, the tides come out.
It's with the moon.
How close were they to running into this person? Was the person in that room when they were going up and exploring the department store?
Yeah, I want to know how often they checked on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if the footprints are there and tides come every 24 hours even, listeners, I'm so sorry. I don't know anything about tides. I live in a landlocked state. I wonder how recently they were there.
How often do the tides come in and out? Because the Earth rotates through 2 tidal bulges every lunar day, coastal areas experience 2 high and 2 low waves every 24 hours and 50 minutes. High tide occurs 12 hours and 25 minutes apart.
So's right.
Tides typically come in and out twice a day at most coastal locations, meaning there are 2 high tides and 2 low tides every 24 hours and 50 minutes, which is considered a lunar day due to the moon's gravitational pull being the primary cause of tides.
So someone was there within the last 12 hours. Take that, 5th grade geography.
Look at that. We knew that from the get-go.
Detective. Yeah, I wasn't doubting myself at all.
They eventually get upstairs, and I just love that Kipps was helping George to rappel down there to find Lockwood and Lucy. I just love that Kipps was just like, I got you, George. I'm gonna help.
And then we have a little reconciliation between Holly and Lucy.
The awkward conversation.
Where Holly gives her the backpack as a peace offering.
I love Lucy's description of how this conversation went, though, when she's done. Let's face it, it wasn't the most thrilling conversation you'll ever hear. Not exactly one to be carved on your tombstone or strung up in lights over your front door, but it was good enough for me.
Oh, I did like how ambiguous it was on whether Holly looked in the backpack or not.
Yeah, we never know.
Do you think she did?
I think she did.
I think so too.
I think she might have peeked a little bit.
Also, side note, Bobby didn't even break his ankle.
I know.
He sprained it, which meant he was being a wuss and had to be carried. Fully carried, not even supported. Fully carried by Lucy and Holly with a sprained ankle. Grow up, Bobby. This is a life or death situation. And you couldn't even hop?
Inconceivable.
Do not. I lost all respect for Bobby.
And me, apparently.
That was subtext.
We kind of have another mystery, though, because Deeprak shows up along with a bunch of other agents, and then a mysterious van of individuals not in a uniform. There's a lady that butts into the conversation kind of at the end. She says, oh, the skeletons, how do we get to them? And he's like, oh, well, it's not actually easy. And she's like, I'll be the judge of that. Who is this woman?
She's so no nonsense. She knows what's going on.
Yes.
Whereas, everyone is, bedraggled.
Bedraggled?
Is that a word? Where they're, they're rough. They're rough from all of the stuff. They have been going on no sleep. They're rough around the edges. They don't look very well put together. They kind of have no idea what's going on. And then this lady comes in, prim and proper, all business, no nonsense, and she knows exactly what's going on. And I just think that's very interesting.
Meanwhile, Barnes is just mad that the department store is torn apart, and he's like, this is where I buy my socks.
I like to know, if that's only what he goes in there for, just the socks.
Let's be honest. He goes there to get some fun ties.
Probably. Not anymore.
He gets his mustache oil in there.
What floor is that on? What floor is that
or
on?
Or Mullet & Sons.
Poor Barnes.
Lockwood does off to show Barnes everything, though, which I think is surprising, given his distaste for Barnes and, trusting Deeprak previously to this book.
What's funny is, they don't, because they're as soon as Deeprak gets here, they're gonna take it all away. So we need to get our people down there and get stuff going.
But that's what I'm saying, is he gets stuff going with George and Flo. He sends them down there to look at everything, but he still offers to Barnes afterwards, oh yeah, here is everything. He's not withholding any information. He's getting in there first, which is smart on him.
Malicious compliance.
Yes, which I think is interesting. I would have thought Lockwood would have withheld a couple things, but we later learned that afterwards, Lockwood and Kipps went off to speak to the newspapers. Holly and Lucy went back to Portland Row to clean up and whatnot. George went with Flo down to finish up investigating everything where the skeletons were. I personally would pay good money to see that newspaper interview with Lockwood and Kipps.
100%.
I think they were probably talking over each other the whole time, and I just think it's so funny.
When two people don't like each other and they fake being nice to the point where it's like sickening, where they're like, oh, my good buddy over here, let me tell you how he was integral, and then that's like a backhanded compliment kind of thing.
Yep.
I think that would be exactly what they're
I
doing.
think that happens, and then Lockwood went back later and like told the newspaper interview to redact
story.
everything that Kip said.
And also, I would pay good money to see George and Flo together in the prison.
Fighting off these Rotwell agents.
Yes, because George comes back with a shiner.
I love this fight though.
Pray at someone.
Oh my gosh, I love him describing this fight. He like goes to the exact bone. He like names the, Hannah Montana the Bone song. He goes through the whole thing. He's like, I threw a vertebrae at him. I'm like
Also, let's talk about the blatant disrespect for the skeletons. But,
I know.
the Rotwell people started it.
They did. George was only defending himself.
George just finished it.
Yeah, true.
And then we get Flo, who pulls out her muck prong and goes at him, which I love. Oh, God. A budding romance.
Yeah, and the good news is that all the agents, Fitz, Rotwell, everyone, even Miss Fitz and Tom Rotwell, they go back to the Chelsea outbreak the next night, and significantly there's less ghosts that night. It's getting better. So we actually get confirmation that they did find the source, and it didn't automatically stop. It had to peter out, which I think is really interesting. I wouldn't have expected that. I would have expected it to completely stop. So that was really cool to read. And the last paragraph we get is so good for the end of the book.
Oh, yes.
I'm just gonna say, such good writing. Everything's great. We should be so happy. We have calls everywhere. We're all together. And then she says, but I am still haunted, but not by an actual ghost, but kind of the trauma of the line that we talked about seeing Lockwood dead and that she could be the cause of it. And she also, I think, in a way, is seeing all of Lockwood's trauma, and I think she hasn't been able to fully grasp what he's been through. And so she's looking at him, and all she is seeing is his trauma, this mask that is still on him.
Yeah, I read this part, and then so I was reading the physical book for this part because I was going between that and my Kindle, and I flipped the page and was like, no, surely I missed a page. Like, it was just such a good ending. And usually they're cliffhangers that leave you being like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But this one was like a cliffhanger that was a thinker. It wasn't an immediate like, oh my god, this action thing happened, the candle blew out, or I fell down the hole and I didn't know where I was. This was a holy shit mic drop, but a mental mic drop.
Mental mic drop, and it's very foreboding of something is going to happen, because I read this and was like, this is too good to be true. Something's going to go wrong.
Well, also, we're one chapter away from the end of the book. This is chapter 25 out of chapter 26. And when we were in chapter 1, we were getting this is how we used to be. And I wish I knew how good it was before it ended. So we know we have a chapter to know, something bad is going to happen. And we don't know what it is because all of our characters are alive.
We've already gotten through the big bad.
Our characters are all alive. So what's going to happen?
It's a good ending to this portion that we're talking about right now. And we'll save the next chapter for the BBC episode, which will be next. Now we're on to the portion of our show, which is the
What If question of the week.
Our what if question of the week is, what if Lockwood, or even George, or anyone else had been thrown into the hole instead of Lucy and seen the face of the fetch? Who do you think they would have seen?
I love this question.
I knew you were going to like this one.
Because this brings me to what we talked about earlier. Let's say it's Lockwood, of course, our traumatized hero. Do we think the fetch would show him a face of someone alive, Lucy? Or do we think it would show him the face of someone dead, Jessica?
I think it would be Jessica, personally.
I think it would be Lucy.
You really do? I think he has way too much guilt for Jessica that it would have been Jessica.
See, but I think it would have been the double whammy because he's protecting Lucy and Lucy reminds him of Jessica, so this would be the second time he's failed.
Don't do this to me right now.
I can't. Ooh.
Okay, but if it was George, who do you think it would be?
This one's interesting because George, to our knowledge, hasn't had a traumatic death. And his family he's on good terms with. So I don't think it would be Flo. I think it would be Lockwood or Lucy. And for some reason, I think it would be, I don't know, I feel like his friendship is stronger with Lockwood, but also he's picking up on all of these subtext conversations with Lucy and trying to check in on her. So I don't know if it'd be more guilty if he knew something was wrong and it turned out she died, in quotes, as the fetch, or if his longtime buddy and pal suddenly, who seemed like infallible and is always risking himself, suddenly caught up with the risks he was taking. I don't know. Who do you think it'd be?
My gut is telling me it would be Lucy, because I think this whole book he's been watching her but not doing anything. And I think, like you said, I think he would feel guilty then that, oh my God, Lucy's gonna come after me. And I feel like Lucy's always the first to pick up when something's wrong with George more than Lockwood.
Yeah. Oh, this hurts my heart to think about.
If Kipps fell down, it would have been Ned Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
But I honestly think that if any of them fell, it would be Ned.
Yeah.
Because I think that's still very fresh.
Yeah. I think Flo would have seen Lockwood.
I think Flo would have seen whoever she saw earlier.
Oh, yeah, that too. True.
Ugh, this is a tough question.
It's a good one. It's a good thinker.
It's a really good one.
All right. Now we're to the next portion. Favorite moment guessing game. Can we both have the same moment?
What's your moment?
You know mine. It's obvious.
I don't know.
How do you not know? Just look at my notes where it says screeches into the void.
Is it with Lockwood?
Yes! Come off it. You know I'd die for you.
The most vague answer. I think mine is the part with the cocoa biscuit. I think it's so funny that he's like trying to lighten the situation, and then it's that means it was George, the little devil. Like,
are you hungry?
have you ever tried to have a conversation with someone and they keep making a joke out of it, and you're like, I'm really trying to have an important conversation with you, and you're making jokes?
That frustrates me, Alex.
I'm sorry.
To the pit of despair with you. Be gone.
Throw me in there. All the abandoned skeletons. I did like Lucy's conversations with the skeletons and how she was like, well, obviously they have candles. Have you guys been playing with candles? Have you been naughty? I do love it.
I like her conversations with the ghost. There's a lot of good metaphors in this portion, you know, culminating everything that we've read to my favorite portion of this, which I will probably go on in my BBC because I think it's just so well written. But Chef's Kiss, amazing.
This one was a hard book. These were hard chapters because they were really good.
This is a great book. It's not my favorite one of the series, but it is a good one. It is very close to being my favorite.
I think the problem is, I think the books get better as we go on. And this one was like, holy shit, nothing can get better. And then the next two books just get better. And they get more heart-wrenching, and the stakes only get raised, and the mystery and the breadcrumbs only get bigger. And it's just, chef's kiss, chef's kiss. Stroud.
I'm so excited for the next book, but I am excited for our next episode where we're going to be finishing the last chapter of the book, chapter 26, and then we're going to do our end of book discussion in BBC. It'll be a fun time. We'll probably talk too much. We'll probably have too many drinks, and it'll be great. In the meantime, I'm going to plug our socials. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @2bestiesread or Twitter or X at @2bestiesread. We also have a Gmail account that you can email us any thoughts, questions, suggestions on books at 2bestiesread@gmail.com. And we also have a website. Check it out. It's on the link tree on our Twitter as well as our Instagram. So I work really hard on it. Alex comes and peruses every once in a while.
Addi updates it all the time. She puts all of our information in there. All of the memes.
All the memes.
Can be found.
Yes.
So go on the website.
Maybe Addi will add in a couple pictures of Alex doing finger puppets.
Maybe.
The shadow ones, you know.
Yeah.
So, it'll be there. Maybe I'll also have a poll if Alex should rewatch The Princess Bride. Give it another try.
The answer is no.
What? No. I believe you can do it.
This is a book podcast. We will not be reading the book.
I actually have never read the book for that one, so it's fine.
Maybe we should read the book.
I'm scared it's going to be a Wicked thing, where the musical and the movie are so good, but the book is, like, dark. It's not even the same.
Don't read
the book. Don't read it.
It's odd in not a good way.
You know what is odd in a good way, though? The
Our
Princess
website.
Bride.
Two different answers.
But please, let us know. Were you also completely traumatized with this chapter? Did you catch the mask thing, or is Addi just dumb? Do you also like The Princess Bride? Do you also not like The Princess Bride? Inconceivable. That's not even possible.
Do you think Lucy is also really good at candles? Do you think the spiders, the spindly spiders, are the worst? Or are you just against all spiders? Is it the legs? Is it the eyes?
Don't
Full
follow
of
the
spiders.
Did you also not know how to say that oil? Jojoba?
Jojoba. And please, if it's wrong, I'm gonna blame Pink Panther, because the second movie has a whole scene where they're singing jojoba, 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 and they're shaking beans, and that's all I can think of.
Hey, you know what's a good song? Phenomena. Hey, Alex.
Hey, Addi.
Thanks
for
for
being
being
my
my
bestie.
Phenomena.
This is like the second time I think that we've used that, and I love it.
It could see
Do not. Thanks for listening to TBR.
Be sure to follow us on the socials at Two Besties Read.
Got any suggestions for the other series we should look at? Email us at twobestiesread@gmail.com.
Join us next week as we read